Good morning. I'm Lisa Kinney, and I'm a lay minister for Unity Christ Center in Farmington, Missouri. Welcome to this second edition of our virtual Sunday morning services. Everyone is welcome here, and I thank you for being here. If you're familiar with Unity, you know that we use spiritual practices like prayer and meditation as practical tools for living a positive spiritual life. I personally believe that prayer can be thought of as talking to God, and meditation can be thought of as a listening for God. So this morning I'd like to offer up this opening prayer and a short meditation before our talk. Sweet Spirit, open all hearts to compassion, open all minds to right thinking, open all eyes to see the good, and open all ears to hear your voice. It is so, and so it is. Thank you, and amen. Now, with your eyes still closed, let's just take a moment to relax our bodies and quiet our minds. Take a few slow, deep breaths, and as you release them, allow any tension or worry to leave your body. And now let's use the power of our imaginations to move the breath down through our bodies, down into the heart center in the middle of the chest. Imagine that your heart is breathing for you now. Inhaling through the heart and exhaling through the heart. Notice how your heart feels as you breathe this way. And now imagine a soft, warm light in the center of your heart. And with each breath, the light grows brighter and warmer. The light is growing and extending beyond the heart now, filling the entire chest cavity, your torso, your arms, your neck, and your head. And this warm, bright light fills your legs, ankles, and your feet. Your entire body from head to toe is now engulfed in this light. You are a part of it, and it is a part of you. Take a moment now to deeply feel this light, pulsing with each heartbeat, warming you like the sun. And now imagine that this light is emanating from yourself and out into the room that you're in, filling it up completely, expanding now beyond the walls of your room, shining out through the windows and the doors, shining through the walls and through the ceiling. Becoming brighter, warmer, a living, breathing orb of energy. See it extending out through your community, out to neighboring communities, connecting with other energies, other lights. And feel it joining with all the other light groups as it spreads in all directions, north and south, east and west, up and down. Now let us set the intention that as our light grows, that everyone who comes in contact with it will become aware of deep feelings of peace, happiness, health, and well-being, of unconditional love and compassion. As we come to the end of this meditation and return to this place and this time, we do so with the awareness that our light that we have sent out into the world is a very real energy that will continue to shine and heal even as we go about our daily lives. Thank you, sweet Spirit. So the title of my talk today is Catastrophe or Catalyst. I'm recording this talk on March 27th, 2020, and the annals of history will mark that we are in the middle of a global pandemic, the novel coronavirus. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm scared. My partner in life has an autoimmune disorder that makes him very susceptible. My sons both work in the essential services industry that puts them in close contact with the public every single day. Two of my sweet sisters-in-law are both registered nurses. So yeah, they're on the front lines. Yeah, I'm scared. I imagine that many of you are too. And that's okay. That's a good thing. Fear is nature's way of keeping us from doing stupid things, like leaning over the edge of a cliff and trying to take that perfect selfie, right? Fear is what drove our ancestors to outrun the lions and the tigers and the bears. Oh my. So fear in its proper place is a good thing, and it's a fast teacher. Right now, we are quickly learning all of the things that our mothers have been trying to teach us for years. Wash your hands, cover your cough, be compassionate, share with others, help where you can. Thank you, Mom. In crisis situations, though, we can also see the flip side of fear. The people who run through the stores, grabbing every single can of corn in the store. Those that walk a 40-foot circumference around you in accordance with a social protocol or with the social distancing protocol, but they'll swoop in and grab the last package of snack cakes right out of your hands. People driven by fear of lack, of not enough. So you see, really, fear is just an emotion. Energy in motion. The only difference is in how we express it, how each of us see the situation, how we perceive it to be. In regards to our current situation, we are all in uncharted territory, and the unknown can be really scary. We are all outside of our comfort zones. Every aspect of our lives have been disrupted. Our workaday life has dissolved into, will I have a job tomorrow? Will I even have a job to go back to when all this is over? Will I be able to feed my kids? These are all real questions, and they're tough questions. And maybe you're one of those that's struggling with those questions right now. I told you that I wouldn't lie to you, and I'm not going to lie to you now. I don't know the answers. I don't know what's going to happen to you or to me. I don't have the answers, and in fact, no one does. But I do have other questions. Questions that maybe can help you to work through these hard times, these scary places. So the first question I'd like you to ask yourself is, what do I know for sure? For myself, I know for sure that there is a higher power, an intelligence that animates my physical body, a creative force behind the entire universe. I know that because I can feel that. I can feel the truth of that. I knew it before I could name it. I knew it even when I refused to acknowledge it. Because even then, I could still feel the truth of it. And now I see evidence of it everywhere I look. In the order and the movement of the stars and galaxies and planets. I see it in the turning of the seasons, from winter to spring, from summer to fall. I even see it in a drop of water and wonder at the intelligence behind the binding of 2 molecules of hydrogen to 1 molecule of oxygen that forms the creeks, the rivers, the lakes, and the oceans. Mankind, with all of our technological advances and scientific knowledge, hasn't been able to duplicate even a single drop of that. So yes, I know for sure there is a power higher than me or you. I call it God, and I believe that God is good. And I also know for sure that good always wins. That ultimately everything unfolds for the highest and the best. The operative word here, of course, is ultimately. I don't always get to see the big picture. I have a very limited perspective, looking through the mirror darkly. I've lived through times, and I'm sure you have too, when I couldn't see the good. The mirror was too dark. I've lost loved ones, lost loves, lost my way. I couldn't see any light then, couldn't find any good. The mirror was just too dark. But looking back on those times with clearer vision, I could see that there was good there too, even in those very dark times. Gifts of forgiveness that only came through a deathbed. Gifts of tenderness and deep connection that only came through shared grief. Gifts of growth and strength that only came through adversity. Though I never want to go back through those things again, I can look back now and say yes, good came from that. Good always wins. And that leads me to my next question. Ask yourself, what good can come from this? Yes, we are all going through a hard and scary time, but already I have witnessed good at work in it. Even with the self-isolation and social distancing being the new norm, I see people coming together and connecting in new and innovative ways. I've seen videos of cities on lockdown where the people come out on their respective balconies and the entire neighborhood sings songs together. I've seen a social distance powwow on social media where the indigenous people of this country are dancing healing dances and prayer dances for all of us, all while still in isolation. I've heard stories of people shopping and paying for and delivering groceries to elderly neighbors. Stories of grocery store clerks taking money from their own pockets to pitch in to pay for groceries for a single mom of 4 kids who's been laid off from her job. Stories of athletes giving up their paychecks so that the concession stand vendors, ushers, and maintenance crews at a stadium could still have a paycheck. I've witnessed teachers organizing drive-by parades and driving by their students' homes just to wave at them, let them know that they love them, make them feel not so alone in all of this. And I've seen a political system that's been too long divided reach across the aisle and say, we have to make this work. We have to help our people. So there is good, even now, even in these times. Which leads me to my next question. Ask yourself, what am I focusing on? You can't see the good if you aren't looking for it. I'm not saying to hide your head in the sand, to be uninformed. We all need to be informed, especially right now, as the situation is still unfolding. We need to know what new protocol has been put in place to keep us safe. I'm simply saying to try to keep it into perspective. When the number of new cases daily start to feel overwhelming, remember this: 98% of them survive. Remember that there are doctors, scientists, technology, experts, and innovative thinkers that are working on vaccines and cures, life-saving medical equipment, and real solutions. I'm reminded of an interview I once saw with Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers. You all remember him. He said that when he was very young, he would be so frightened and upset by the things that he saw on the news that he would cry and just be heartbroken for days. And his mother helped him through that by telling him to look for the helpers. What a wise and wonderful mom. So be aware, stay informed, but look for the helpers. My final question for you to ask yourself is, what can I learn from this? For myself, I've learned that catastrophe can also be a catalyst. When all of this is over, we can go back to our normal lives, or we can choose consciously to see the good that has come from this, to learn from it, and to choose a new and improved normal. We can go back to a world that felt lonely and harsh and violent at times, or we can build a world now where people help their neighbor. They work together, they sing together, they dance together for the good of all. And so that we can finally realize that we are all truly connected to each other. So let's all choose wisely. I'm going to leave you now with the prayer of protection that we say in unity. It was written by James Dillett Freeman. It says, The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is